not sure if it's on. Can you check? Turn the screen, see if it's on. It's REC? Yeah? Okay, good. Good evening, everyone. Today we have a different than usual lecture. But first I have an announcement. I know you won't like it, but in the next 3 weeks I won't be here. 3 weeks in a row. I'm going to Israel. I'll be back. You will see, Bezrat Hashem, on my events. Always check on events. I don't leave you. It's a beautiful place. And the lectures that we do here somehow have special blessing. When we put it on the internet, I get a lot of good comments about, even people from Brooklyn. They say you should make the lectures you do here on Wednesday over here, you know, because they like the lectures that we did here. But anyway, so, you know, until September 7th, we'll be back. When school starts for the kids, September 7th, we'll be back. So for about 3 weeks, we won't be here. Okay, now, today I want to speak about something very important that we all need, and most of us don't have. Who knows what it is? Huh? Emunah? Emunah, almost none of us has. I'm talking some of us has, but the majority do not have. The answer is good memory. Why we forget so many things and so easy? Some of us forget names. Some of us forget numbers. Some of us forget everything. Some of us forget everything we learn in Torah. No matter how many times we heard it again and again. After, when someone asks us, what is it? We forget. Why it's so difficult to live a life with forgetting so easily? Why? The answer is because it brings a person to frustration. In a secular life, meaning civil life of a person, if he's a forgetful person, forgets a lot of things, no, he can live with that. He has a telephone, reminders, everything he writes down, numbers, because he doesn't count on his memory. However, when a person goes to yeshiva or to a shiur and he learns Gemara and Torah and he learns and he learns and he learns, and after 2 years, 3 years that he's learning, he's unable to give even 1 hour of speech. So much he learned, you tell him, say something of what you learn. I don't remember anything. Even when you remind him, I'm not sure who said what, then a person becomes depressed. What does it mean, depressed? He said, what is the point of learning? What is the point of learning? Anyway, after 2 years I learned from morning to night, I don't know anything and I don't remember anything. Some people, they learn and they remember. Rav Ovadia Yosef, everything he learned, he remembered. We have today Rav Meir Eliyahu, young one, 32 years old. Baal Tshuva, I don't know, about 12 years Baal Tshuva. A genius. Every page he remember, every line, every provision, everything he ever read once in his life, photographic memory. He remembers everything. He can say in 1 hour speech, 100 sources by heart. Remember every book, every chapter, every page, and sometimes even what line it is. 3rd line from the bottom to 2nd line from the top. Remember the names of who say what. Remember to say the entire thing, word by word. He can tell you a Gemara I learned 3 years ago. You ask him about it, he can tell you the page, and he can begin to quote the words of the Gemara word by word, or the Zohar. Somebody like that, it's a crime not to sit and learn Torah all your life. You see such blessing in your learning. What is it like? 2 people go into business. One is a very good salesman, one is not such a great salesman. The bad salesman, working and working and working, barely pay the expenses of the car. Why? He doesn't know how to close deals. The other salesman, every person he meets, he sells him, closing one deal after the other. And he's young. he can become a multi-millionaire in a year or two if he continue to work like this every day. So every day he wastes on nonsense, it's a crime. His parents go crazy. Hey, you fool, why are you taking a week off? You just lost $50,000 this week. Every day you're making deals. Now it's the time. What are you waiting for? The other salesman, his father comes to him, why are you not going to work? Well, I go to work for 3 years. How much I make a week? Doesn't even pay to go. Rather stay here and then to go and be depressed. Why? One see results in his effort, one doesn't see results. It's perfectly normal. Needless to say when it comes to the Torah. But I tell you what's the difference between these two examples. The first example, in business, if you make money, it's worth it for you to work. If you don't make money, it's not worth it. Everybody understands that part. But in Torah, it's totally different. Completely different. Why? Completely. Very simple. When you learn now Torah, you come to lectures every night, every other night, you're learning with Chevruta, you read books, you learn on Shabbat, and you see that you don't remember anything almost. The good news is that the day we all die, everything we ever learned and forgot comes right back to you on a silver platter. Now one word will be dropped out. You understand what I'm saying here or no? That's the difference between business, that either you made it or not, and if you did not make it, nobody will ever give you the money later on for trying. No one. You made it, good. You didn't make it, goodbye. That's it. But when a Torah, Baruch Hashem, thank Hashem that He made it like that, that everything we learn comes back to us in a day of trial, when we stand in front of Hashem. That's why, even if in this world you're learning and learning and learning, and in the end you're nothing special, you never became a rabbi, you never became a speaker, you never became a book writer, nothing. You learned 50 years, but you actually became nothing, because everything, it's like putting water in a bucket that have holes. 50 years you put tons of water inside, and constantly dripping out. After 50 years you still have an empty bucket. The other person, the bucket has to grow every day. Why? He's keeping everything he absorbed. That's in this world. But in the next world, Baruch Hashem, everything that dripped out, dripped into a much bigger pool to wait for you for the future to come. That's the difference. And that's what most of the people has to know. That's why there's no reason to be frustrated. No reason to be upset. Why? The money is saved for you. This Torah you learn is saved, is reserved for later on, for the future to come. What do you worry about? You already earned it. It's not just that cannot put your hand on it yet, because it does not stay in your brain. But it's guaranteed to be yours. It's beautiful. But after all, everyone understands that if you have the choice to remember what you learn or not to remember, I don't think one person would agree. I don't think one person would agree that his phone would ring in the middle of the lecture. And especially not to answer it. That's very interesting. So, ישראלים. טוב. אתם חדשים? באתם מהארץ? נו, אז מה קרה? אתם כבר אמריקאים. Anyway, so the point that I'm making is, we all, after all, we want to remember what we learn, right? And the idea is that I'm going to give you now some advice how to remember what we learn. First advice, by the way, please do not try to understand this lecture that I'm about to give you in human logic. Because most of what I'm going to tell you now, it's something Cabalistic, spiritual, symbolic. You won't know ever the logic here, because it's divine decrees. The creator of the world, for whatever reason, some of the reasons we can investigate and understand, some we don't even have a beginning of understanding here. We don't have any idea why this particular thing helped memory and that particular thing destroyed the memory. Why? Go figure. There's no way to understand. But the sources are good. Why? It comes from the Holy Zohar, the foundation of Kabbalah. It comes from the Talmud. It comes from the greatest rabbis lived in history. They knew the entire Torah, everything from top to the bottom, from side to side. No one in the world knows 1% of what they know. No one today. The greatest rabbis in the world don't know even 1% what these names know. The names that are mentioned in the Talmud or in the Zohar. Everybody agree with that. Ask the biggest rabbi in the world. Go to Rav Chaim Kanievsky. Go to Rav Sternbuch. Go to Rav Steinman. Ask them. You compare to any one of the names that mentioned in the Talmud. Do you think you have at least 1% of their knowledge? All of them would answer with no hesitation, are you dreaming? If we have 1% of their knowledge, it will be a huge achievement for us. Why? They understand. They read in the Talmud what were their abilities compared to ours. They had brains that were sharper than computers today. You know what it means to remember millions of events and investigations, everything in the mind, everything is always reserved, everything, and never to contradict yourself in your entire lifetime, in thousands of different subjects. To remember every opinion in a subject, who said what comes out according to this opinion, what comes out according to that opinion, which one of the two you should adopt as the halacha. It's very complicated. Just Rav Ashi and Ravina, when they wrote the Talmud, they concluded the Babylonian Talmud. It was 400 years of learning halacha, Jewish law, mostly oral laws, which is based on the written law. 400 years of thousands of learners, each one of them a giant genius. Every word that came out of their mouth in a period of 400 years, they concluded into the Talmud Bavli, the Gemara, what we call the Gemara. Is it possible that two individuals with a candle and a feather with a glass of ink, in a generation there's no electric, no computers, nowhere to store all your knowledge, it has to be everything in a head, and people had to write it with feather, just like you write today mezuzah in Sefer Torah. This is the generation we're talking about, and there was no library to put a word and to search in thousands of books. What did I have to say about this topic? It had to be all in a head. It's either in a head or it's nowhere. There was no unlimited amount of papers like we have today. Today you buy a book for $20. This is all wood. This is wood. These papers are wood. They used to be wood. They went into a process for $20. You buy a book printed already. Imagine if you had to write this book. It would take you months to prepare the cloth, the parchment from a cow, to remove the hair, to put it in line, to make it white, to make it straight, to make lines, and then to take a feather to create the ink from plants, to cook it, to make it black, to dip the feather and to start writing letter by letter. It'll take you a year to write a simple book. You pay $20, you pick it up from the shelf, it's all here. All the knowledge waiting for you. Don't have to break your head. Why Hashem helped us so much? Because He knows our state of mind. He knows we don't have the abilities of those beautiful sages that we had. What they all had in their head, they didn't need books. So everything back then was all in the mind anyway. Today, almost nothing is in the mind. So we need big libraries with thousands of books. Everything is there in the archive. Instead of in the head, it's in the books. Better than nothing, at least we have the knowledge. So they wrote the entire Talmud without contradicting themselves. Do you know how something like this is possible? Did you see how big is the Talmud? Thousands of pages, maybe hundreds of thousands of words. I don't even know. There's no way even to count how long it is. And thousands of different arguments in thousands of different subjects. Tens of thousands of names participated in those thousands of arguments. Each one had an opinion final opinion, semi-opinion, is like this one a little bit, is like that one, he contradict the third one. In every topic, the whole conversation, like a court case. No one is typing. It's all in their mind, 400 years, thousands of people, thousands of subjects, hundreds of thousands of words they wrote in a Talmud with a feather without contradicting themselves once. Today they wrote something, 5 years later they wrote something connecting to that something. 5 years later, they still remember all the names, all the opinions. They never once contradict themselves. It's unbelievable. That's why a lot of ignorant and many fools, they don't understand what it means when they hear the word Gemara, Talmud. They don't really understand. If they only learn the history of the Talmud, that's enough to know that without divine help and assistance, it's impossible for a human being to write such a creation, to create such a book. Let's give some of their advices for us to improve our memory. One of the things to do is to eat egg without salt. One thing, the Gemara says in Masechet Orayot, page 13, 5 things making the learning absorb in the mind of a person. Someone that eat bread, barbecue on charcoals. You know how you put the steak on a grill? It comes fire, but with charcoals. That's how they used to cut trees. That's how they used to cook on a grill. They put a net, and they either grill meat or chicken, and the bread also. They cook it on it, or bake it on it. Someone that eats a bread like that improves his memory. Someone that eats an egg baked, full egg, not inside water, boiled, or boiled, one way or the other, או צלויה או מבושלת. Either it's baked in an oven, complete egg, or cooked, meaning in liquid, without salt. Someone that eats olive oil, real one, not the fake one they sell in some of the supermarkets. You know, 90% car oil, 10% from olives from 500 years ago. They're already dried. Somehow it doesn't have the color of olive oil, doesn't have the taste. A real olive oil, you feel it right away, and it's also a little bit bitter. That's the one they're talking about. Someone that drink good wine and smell perfumes, not perfume of the ladies to give you bad ideas. Real perfume. You know, the smells that of all the adassim, things, you know, all kinds of good flowers.
Like cinnamon?
Cinnamon, if you like it. Someone that drink the water that is left from baking bread. When you have bread, when you have water, you put the water together with the flour, and you put enough water, and you're constantly pressing the dough until you see that sometimes you have water left. Drink that leftover water, good for the memory. Why? Please don't ask. I told you, some of the things you will understand, some don't try to understand. We're not talking mathematics here, that you understand the logic. We're talking symbolic, secret, Cabalistic secrets. One more thing, eating olives ruining the memory. Olive oil improving the memory. If you like olives very much, there's hundreds of different kinds of olives. What are you going to do? You're not going to eat them because it ruins the memory? There is a solution. What's the solution? One solution is you dip them in olive oil and eat together. What the olive make damage, the olive oil fix. So you break even. That's one thing. But there is another way. Before you begin to eat olives, you say, Matzpatz. Matzpatz. Matzpatz is the name of Hashem Be'atbash. Do you know what Atbash means? I'll explain to you. I don't want to confuse you too much. Atbash means you have Aleph, the last letter towards Aleph is Taf. Aleph is the first, Taf is the last. Bet is the second letter, Shin is the second letter from the end. First and first, second and second, third and third, but from both directions of the alphabet. You have 22 letters, 11 husbands and wives, right? 11 couples. Sometimes when you want to say something, you say it by hinting it. It's Cabalistic concept. For instance, Matzpatz, it's the name of Hashem. Mem, Yud, Tzadik, Hey. And Matzpatz, it comes Yud Kei Vav Kei, the name of Hashem. Some people say El Elohim Matzpatz before you begin to eat olives. It takes away the influence of the olives on the memory. So very important. You say a few words and you can eat as much as you want. Very nice. Every morning, important to eat something with olive oil. But please don't try to drink olive oil from a glass or cup, because olive oil can choke you to death. You have to be careful. It's very thick. If it falls in the throat, especially people that have asthma or problem with breathing to begin with, it can be 10 seconds with no air. It's closing the pipe. If you want to drink olive oil, drink it little by little, not in one shot. I saw one time a person that had a little glass, like instead of whiskey, of olive oil. He started to cough, came out of his nose. If he wouldn't cough, he would choke to death. That's how bad it can be. You gotta be careful. I'm talking the real olive oil, the real one, the thick green one. So you want to drink it a little bit. Better to dip the bread in it. You eat it. It's very good. Now, the Ari HaKadosh, the greatest Kabbalist in history, after Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai that wrote the Zohar, he lived 500 years ago, he wrote to have in mind, when you make the bracha, Baruch Atah Hashem, Amvarech et Amo Yisrael Bashalom, Amen. Where is it? When we pray. Arvit, before we start the Shmona Esrei, this is the last bracha. Baruch Atah Hashem, right? Amvarech et Amo Yisrael Bashalom, Amen. And then it Gadal Vitkadash, and then Shmona Esrei. When you make this bracha, Amvarech et Amo Yisrael Bashalom, you have a chance to say it in an hour now. Amvarech et Amo Yisrael Bashalom, when you finish or you also have this bracha in the end of Shmona Esrei. What's the last bracha in Tfilat Shmona Esrei? Baruch Atah Hashem, Amvarech et Amo Yisrael Bashalom, Amen. Yihu leratzon imre fi ve'eglon libi lefanecha, right? And then that's the end of Shmona Esrei. The Ari is talking about the one in the end of the Shmona Esrei, not the one in the middle of the Tfilah. The one in the end of Shmona Esrei. When you say Baruch Atah Hashem, what is the letter? Yud, Hey, Vav, and Hey, right? This is Hashem. Yud, Hey, Vav, and Hey. How is the nekudot, the dots under the letter? All of them has to be in shuruk, 3 diagonal dots. So the Yud have 3 diagonal dots in a mind. The Hey, 3 dots. The Vav, 3 dots. And the last Hey, 3 dots. Meaning, you, who, vu, who. That's it. They have to have this in mind. And this name, it's in Hebrew, in the holy language, it's called shuruk. Shuruk, if you play with the order of the letters, it makes it kosher. Kosher means to tie together. Same letters in different order. Once you have in mind these names of Hashem, you tie them all together. Based on that, you're going to have a great memory. Rav Ovadia Yosef Zatzal, when people ask him how to improve the memory, that's usually the best advice he gave them. And he wasn't mainly a Kabbalist. He knew a lot of Kabbalah, but it wasn't his field. He wasn't known as a Kabbalist who deal with Kabbalah on a daily basis. like some other Mekubalim. There is one very big Mekubal in Israel, Rabbi Yaakov Ades. His father was a huge rabbi, his grandfather a huge rabbi. This whole family is big rabbis, Rabbi Yaakov Ades. When you go to Israel, there's also a very big tzaddik. He left everything from this world. He lives completely without any materialism, nothing, no materialistic things. In a little room by the Kotel, by the Western Wall, that is putting the air condition on freezing inside. He freezes, you cannot sit there 10 minutes. And he sits and learns. Why he puts it so cold? Because he doesn't want to fall asleep. It keeps him awake to be able to learn more and more and more. Every morning, 4 o'clock, he's already by the Kotel after mikveh, all the way inside the tunnel. If you're facing the Western Wall, you come on the sunrise. Before the sunrise, he's already there. He prays with crying and tears and screaming. You have to see the connection he has to Hashem. It's very big Mekubal. He wrote books in Kabbalah. Also a genius with photographic memory. Everything he remembers, every page, every word. Amazing genius like this. And tzaddik, he was the one who did the eulogy on Rav Ovadia Yosef when crying, when a million people came to the funeral. He was one of the people who were crying on a microphone. Baruch Hashem, I have the zchut to make a lecture together with him in 2 weeks in Yerushalayim. Him and me together. He's going to start from 6 to 8, and I will start from 8 to 10. Together in one event with hundreds of boys, only men, no women. It's about Tikkun HaBrit, modesty for men. That's the entire event is organized by an organization who works on Tikkun HaBrit. It's good to stand even next to this person in this world. Because in the next world, not that many people will be able to reach the level he's going to reach. Give his life, all his life for Torah and Kabbalah and Ahavat Hashem and Emunah. One time there was a Persian woman from Great Neck that has a lot of problems. She called me to ask my advice if there's an organization in the internet that asked her to give a large donation to them, that they will take her request to Rabbi Yaakov Ades, that he will make a special blessing for all her family, one by one, with names, and pray for them. So she asked me if she should do it. I told her no. Why should you give organization? I will send a messenger from my yeshiva to the Kotel, write everything you need, put money in the envelope for him, and that I'm going to send someone. He's going anyway to the Kotel many times during the month to daven netz. He's going to go inside and give it to him. So I send one rabbi that is running my yeshiva in Yerushalayim. I send him to Rabbi Yaakov Ades, his name Rabbi Chizki. He went to see him. Then he called me up. He said, "You're not going to believe it." I came to him with the envelope. It was a nice amount of money. I think she gave $1,000 inside. I gave him the envelope with the paper to pray for the people that she wrote, and he gave me back the money. He didn't want to take it. I said to him, "Rabbi, this woman gave this money for you to pray." He said, "I don't need her to pay me to pray for her. I'll pray for her for free." So he told him, "No, not to pray for her one time, to pray for her every day, in every one of your prayers, for her problems." And he said, "Okay, so I'll pray for her every day, but I don't take the money." They refused to take the money. Refused to take the money. And this is you have to see. He lives in 100% poverty. He can become a millionaire overnight if he wants. He doesn't want to live in this world connected to money and all these things that most people run after. Do you understand what it means to be a tzaddik? That's a perfect tzaddik. I don't want anything in return. You want me to pray for you? You're my brother, you're my sister? Fine, I'll do it. Unbelievable. By the way, her problem was resolved. I spoke to her a week ago. Officially, it looks like the problem was resolved. She's still waiting for one final answer, but it looks like the problem finally was resolved. And it looked like a very hard case. So here you go. You have an example of people like this that we have in our generation. They know a lot of Kabbalah. They learn hours of Kabbalah every day, night, middle of the night. By him, he doesn't eat or drink without doing yichudim. You know what it means? He doesn't eat like a regular person, attack the plate, attack the steak. No. First of all, they don't eat meat. If they eat meat, it's only on Shabbat. They don't eat meat because the Yetzer Hara enters the body from eating meat. The evil inclination becomes stronger by eating meat during the week. On Shabbat, no. But in the week, yes. So that's one thing. Second, every time he drinks, he doesn't drink regularly. I give you an example. A person who wants to drink, he makes a bracha, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'akol niya bidvaro. He drinks a little bit in one shot, okay. He doesn't drink like this. When he drinks, he goes in certain kavanot in his mind. Like for instance, he's going to go 10 times. 10 times, stop. 5 times, stop. 6 times, stop. 5 times, stop. All kavanot, names of Hashem with the nekudot, then different names, all yichudim, like the Baba Sali used to be. Barely ate. Baba Sali was 45 kilo. It's about 100 pounds. That's it. That was his weight. Covered from head to toe like a woman. Even the head, everything. Couldn't see an inch of his body besides his palms. These people were very holy people. And how you know they're holy? They never ask for anything. You will never see that they come to the Baba Sali, help me, pray for me, whatever the case is, and he's going to tell you, okay, you have to pay me such and such. It never happened. Only today it happens all the time. Back then, nobody would like it. If you come to Rav Ovadia Yosef and tell him, Rabbi, I have a problem, please pray for me or do something for me, or he will tell you, give me money. It never happened in a history, ever. The opposite, if you tell him, I'll pay you such and such if you do it for me, he will refuse to take it. Same thing with Rabbi Ben Zion Abba Shaul. Some rabbis will even be offended that you offer that to them. That's 1 generation ago, that's it. Almost everyone was like that. They're real big tzaddikim. If you go today to Rav Chaim Kanievsky and you tell him, Rabbi, I'll give you $1 million if you're going to help me to get rid of this problem. What is he going to tell you? Give it to this organization, give it to this yeshiva, it's okay. Don't give it to me. Why? I want to give it to you. No, give it to him. I'll tell you where to give. Holy people. No jokes. No show off. 100% legit. So the next thing, in Jerusalem, in the time of the Shovavim, when is it? When we start Sefer Shmot, that's few weeks, 6 weeks in a row, that it's time to correct the brit. Spilled seeds, it's time to correct the damage that a person made to himself for making sins. Usually it snows in Jerusalem in that time, at least once or twice. There is a way to take a ball of snow and smash it on the forehead. Where this came from? From the Rashash, the legendary Kabbalist 250 years ago. Rabbi Shalom Sharabi, that some say is reincarnation of the Ari Kadosh. This is the famous rabbi who came from Yaman to Jerusalem, to Beit El, and was pretending to be a janitor. Was cleaning the yeshiva, serving tea. I didn't know he's a giant Kabbalist. He made himself a cleaning guy. Until they didn't know what to do, they were getting stuck in a learning. He was writing the answer, putting it in a book of the rabbi. In the morning, the rabbi would come to the yeshiva, he see the answers of yesterday, it's written for him. Every day like this. He started to believe maybe Eliyahu Hanavi is coming. Until his daughter hid one night, and she saw that the cleaning guy is writing all the answers. She told her to her father, the Rosh Yeshiva, he couldn't believe it. He said, are you normal? He barely knows how to speak. Come with me and see in your own eyes tonight. They hid together, and immediately comes with a lamp, started to write the answers. He came out. Rabbi Shalom, you're a big chacham, a holy man, and you pretend to be a cleaning guy? Why you do such thing? So he said, I was trying to hide myself as much as possible, but I guess Mishamayim, they wanted my secret to be revealed. So the Rosh Yeshiva told him, I cannot be the rabbi here when you are here in town. From tomorrow morning, I will announce you as the head of the yeshiva. Today, he would tell him, let me buy you a ticket to go to Japan. Go 6 months to Japan. I'll pay all the expenses. Don't worry. Over there, maybe you open a yeshiva, you find some Israelis, you do kiruv. Why? Don't be here, because if the secret would come out, nobody would want me. They will know that you are here. Let me make you run away. Why? I'm going to hurt my ego? But back then, it was purely for the sake of heaven. Purely. You better than me? I won't be the boss. You come and be the boss. Did you ever see a politician competing with each other? That one say to the other, on this field, you better than me? You're right, you're better than me here. In finance, you know much better than me. Even partially to admit, they don't admit. Any one of them, you interview Hillary on 500 questions. Will she say on one of them that Trump is better than there in this field? Nothing. You ask Trump if she's better than him in any subject. Will he ever admit? The day he admit, minute later the Mashiach would arrive. Why? There's no chance that he will ever admit. But not only them, every politician. Ask Bibi. Herzog was maybe better than you in this and this. Come on. They will never admit. But a holy man, this guy is better than you, and this one, of course. 100% I admit. Why? You're not embarrassed to admit? Why should I be embarrassed to admit? Why? I have to be the master of the world? There's only one master. You're right, he's better. That's it. What's all these ego games? Most of the Shlom Bayit problems, it's because of ego, husbands and wife. Analyze their life. 99% of the problems is ego issues. He doesn't respect me, ego. He doesn't buy me, ego. He doesn't give me attention, ego. He puts me down, ego. He doesn't come as he promised, ego. He doesn't like my food, ego. He doesn't like my clothes, ego. He doesn't like how I raise the kids, ego. All ego. So find me one thing between husband and wife that it's not a matter of pride and ego. Same thing the man. She answers me back, ego. She doesn't listen to me, ego. She doesn't prepare dinner for me, ego. She wants to go to her parents every holiday, ego. All ego. That's it. That's why you eliminate the ego, all your problems in life are gone. That's it. Plus, people fall in love right away with humble people. Even non-Jew. You meet a guy, he's humble and honest, you fall in love with him. He's not your brother, it's from a different nation. Doesn't matter. You appreciate honesty and humility. Proud people, they hate other proud people more than anything. Stingy people hate stingy people more than anything. Angry people hate angry people more than anything. Only I'm allowed to be angry. No one else will dare. Only I knows. No one else would dare. Only I can be stingy, meaning I'm smart. I'm not burning my money or nothing. But you, shame on you, you stingy guy. You want to see a proof? In Athens, in Greece, they used to have, stadiums. In Sparta, it started in Sparta. That's why they call it sport. It comes from Sparta, all the stadiums and the competitions. Why people invented sports, the Greeks? Ego. Who wants to win? I'm better than you. I'm stronger than you. I'm lifting more weights. I can win against the lion. I can beat up anyone who comes to fight me. It's all about ego. To humiliate the other and to raise your name and reputation. That's how it was. So there was a game between Sparta against Athens. Sport. One old man came with a cane. He's trying to find, in one side there were all the peoples of Athens, and on the other side all the fans of Sparta. And he's trying to find a seat in the side of the team that he's follow. So he was from Athens, He was looking for a seat, no seat. Nobody rise to give him the seat. They see an old man barely walks. All the young people sit and watch the game. Now one person rised. He went to the opposite side, to the opponents, to the other fans. Over there, one person rised and gave him a seat. Guess what happened in a stadium? All the people from the other side rised and clapped for that person. But not one of them was willing to rise. But when someone else did it, they all knew to appreciate it. So if you know that's the right thing to do, why you didn't do it? That's the way the person is. Everybody else has to go by the book. Me, I'm dismissed. I have my own rules. That's how it goes. Let's continue. One more thing. Ben Ish Chai said, if you cannot find snow, here in America we have a lot of snow, Baruch Hashem. But some places it's hard to find snow. So what do? You take ice. You take ice in the right hand. You try to make it like a ball. Or if you cannot make it, it's also good. Like the Ben Ish Chai is saying, Lashon Chachamim. Put it on your forehead. And from one side of the head to another, meaning it's like you're washing your forehead with a piece of ice. How many times? 3 times. Left, right, left, right, left, right, 3 times. And every time you say, Aleph. Why Aleph? Aleph, it's numeric value, sheleg, snow. That's it. Elef, no, not Elef, not Aleph, Elef, I'm sorry. Elef means 1,000. Sheleg in numeric value, I don't know how they did the calculation because it doesn't add up to me. So, I don't know. But anyway, this is another solution. Let's move on.
What about tears?
Tears? No, tears is for erasing the impression of the sins. It has nothing to do with memory. Drinking too much water is good or not? All the time we hear on the commercials, drink water, 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 water. Your skin will be great. You won't get old. It's good for this, it's good for that. It's good for the diet. It washes away the fat. Lots of theories. What is the damage the water do to a person when he drinks too much? Person that drinks too much water brings him to forget things. Drink what you need to drink. Don't sit all day and drink non-stop. 1,500 times you go to the bathroom a day. Why? They told him it's healthy. I used to think it's healthy. There was a period of time I was attached to a big bottle of water all day drinking. You know, but why? Now when you read it, what does it say? It takes away your memory. It takes away your memory. In the book of Reshit Chochmah, Sha'ar HaKdusha, chapter 7, שתיית מים מרובים מרבה שינה לפי הטבע. ובפרט מי שישתה מים בהשכמה תרבה עליו שינה. Person that drink a lot of water when he gets up in the morning, after a while he becomes tired. Someone that wants to get up before midnight has to make sure not to drink a lot when he goes to sleep. Let's see, when he gets dark, he goes back in the time it was in style to go to sleep when it gets dark and to rise at midnight and learn Torah all night. That's why it means מים במסורה תשתה, there's like some kind of a tool that measures how much water in it. Meaning, drink exactly how much you need. But the doctors today, they all claim that it's good to drink a lot of water. Why? It prevents dehydration, migraines, headache, especially in the hot summer days. So how are we going to compromise between the advice of the doctors and the advice of Kabbalah? The answer, how much we have to drink a day, that's the key question. No? 2 liters, how did you know? Very good, 2 liters, 2 quarts of water. 2 liters. 2 liters a day. And make sure not to drink 1 glass after the other in 1 shot. Drink 1 glass, wait a little bit. Wait a few minutes. Why? Too much to drink. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not good. It puts you to be tired later, and it causes shichecha, to forget.
What if you drink 1 liter right away, and then 2nd liter?
1 liter is 5 glasses of water. Say 1 glass at a time. One more thing. The Stipler, the father of Rav Chaim Kanievsky, in his book Keilot Yaakov, chapter 5, page 203. This is what he writes. כאשר אמרו לרבנו הסטייפלר, the father of Rav Chaim Kanievsky, when he was told ששתיית מים מרובים קשה לשכחה, that drinking too much water makes a person forget, he answered, every time my heart has a problem, I go to the faucet and drink water. Right? Meaning, they say that what he used to drink is hot water. Hot water. But he also used to drink cold water. Meaning, if a person doesn't feel good, don't think about forgetting or not forgetting. Right now, you need water. You have problems with your heart. You need to drink. Someone that put his finger in salt and then eat, sucking it. הרי זה משיב את הלימוד. It returns back Torah that you learn and forgot. Which finger a person has to dip in a salt? It's also important. Not everyone. The answer, first let's learn what's the name of each finger according to the Torah. We have 5 fingers, right? Everyone is unique by itself, by the length, by the size. There's a reason for it, because it's a perfect combination, all of them together, right? Proportionally. So, this finger, what's the name of it? In Lashon HaKodesh, who knows? Huh? Gudal. In Hebrew, modern Hebrew, they say agudal. De gudal. Okay, gudal. This one, right? What's the name of it? Pointing, that's the finger we point. Etzba. Etzba Hashem. Like it says in the Torah many times, like Hashem is pointing at something. Okay? So that's called Etzba. The middle one is what? What do we call it? Kmitza. No, I'm sorry. Amma. Amma. Remember, Amma. The long one is Amma. The one next to the little one, this one, it's called Kmitza. And the little one, it's called Zeret. Zeret. Again, we have the Gudal, we have the Etzba, we have the Amma, we have the Kmitza, and we have the Zeret. So when you want to put your finger inside the salt, which one you have to put inside the salt? The answer is Etzba. This one, right? Or Amma. Etzba, the middle one, or the long one. Those 2 long ones, right? Don't do it with others. If you put others, it's not good. Shanu Rabotenu Etzba Amma. Right? Or another one, Kmitza. Or Bakmitza. But don't do it with the last 2. Not the fat one, not the skinny one. The 3 middle ones. Next thing. When you dip your finger inside the salt and you sucking it, and you feel that salty taste, what bracha you have to make? Huh? The answer, none. Why? You don't make bracha. Do you know a normal person that would do it unless if it's good for the memory? If we didn't hear about this, do you know anyone who puts his finger in the salt every day and eat? If you see salt once in a while, yeah. But if a person by mistake use this finger, the gudal, put it in the salt and then put it in his mouth, is not good. Then dangerous. I don't even want to tell you what it can bring. That's how dangerous it is. Just don't do it. One more thing. When you have a bread, the bread has the edge on both sides. Usually it's a baked piece. When you cut the bread, cut it off a little bit from the edge. Don't eat the edge. Cut it off a little bit, like a quarter of an inch you can cut out. Don't waste the bread. Just cut the edge. And then begin to give pieces of bread to the people that you need to give when you cut the challah or the bread, whatever. Oh, I already know that the Bukharian will ask me, what happens if it's circle? The edge. Oh, the little bit the edge, it's a problem. So when you cut a piece from the bread, remove a little bit the edge. Is it halacha? No. You can eat the edge. It's kosher. But it's gorem leshichecha. It causes you to be forgetting. But there is a solution. Instead of throwing it to the garbage, what do you do? Huh? You're not going to like it. At least over there. In the feminist section. Itnuhu lanashim. We'll give it to the women. Sheyochlu oto. Why? It doesn't affect the women. Only the men. It makes him forget the Torah he learned. One more thing. When you wear together two shirts, or when you take off together two shirts, it's hurting the memory. Not good for the memory. How do you wear two shirts? Sometimes a person is in a rush, he has a t-shirt, and on top of it he has the tzitzit. So when he takes it off, right, before the shower or whatever, he takes them both together. Right? That's usually how you do it. Because usually you don't wear two t-shirts, one on top of the other, unless if you're not normal. If you're normal, you wear a t-shirt, and then a tzitzit, and then a dress shirt, and then a jacket, and then a coat. That's the maximum you can have, 5 pieces for a man. So therefore, or sometimes you can have a vest also. No, so you can have 6 pieces. So if you want to take the vest and the t-shirt, in case you don't have tzitzit, the vest and the t-shirt together, it's possible, right? So don't do it. Just take one shirt at a time. Okay, same thing, don't wear them together. If you took the t-shirt and the tzitzit together and you put them, you can take them together and also put them back. Don't do it. It's bad for the memory. One more thing. What if a person wants to wear a hat with his kippah in one shot? Sometimes when you take the hat, the kippah stick inside. It came out both. Now you want to return it both. Do you have to separate and put one at a time, or it's also like clothing? Wearing 2 garments together. The answer, the Ari HaKadosh said there's no problem with that. Putting 2 covers on the head in one shot. But not everyone agree with that. Some say better to separate. So what do we care? It takes another second. Separate and put them together. Separately. One more thing. What about wearing 2 pairs of socks in one shot? Taking it off and wearing them together in a freezing winter of New York. Right? Sometimes you have 2 pairs of socks because it's so cold. And now you take them both in one shot and you want to put them back both on one shot. Is this considered clothing or no? The answer, people say it's not an important piece of clothing. It's not considered really clothing. Therefore, you can do it. What about shoes and what's the rubber that you put on top of it in the snow? Huh? What's the word on that in English? You're not in Russia here, my friend. In Russia, huh? The lashes? That's the name of it. Sorry. I mean, it's my ignorance. Tov. Bottom line, don't wear them together and don't put them out together. I thought he's talking to me in Russian. One more thing, when you learn, you want to go to the bathroom. You want to go out. Those who smoke, every 10 minutes they need a break. Right? Or those who drink too much water. So they have to go to the bathroom a lot. When is it going to happen? Saturday night. Not this one. Yeah, this one. Saturday night. Why? Why it's going to happen Saturday night? Because people will drink a lot before the fast. Right? Before you start the fast, you drink a lot. So for the 3-4 hours that the fast begin, people go in and out to the bathroom until the container gets empty. Right? So when a person wants to get up and go, but his book is open, or the Gemara, he's too lazy to close, go and come back and look for where he was. That's cause to forget. It's hurting the memory, leaving a book open and leaving a book open. So what do? Put a mark and close it. That's one thing. Fold the page and close it. Or you can cover it with something, a shirt, a towel. Or you can take a big book and put on top. It's considered like closing it. But as long as you don't leave the writing exposed, find a way to cover it. It's called shichecha. What else? One more thing. Sewing a garment while it's on a body of a person. Your pants just ripped a little bit on the side. You come to your wife, Miriam, quickly, sew over here. Or the button on a jacket. Come here, I'm going to hold it, sew it. Don't be lazy. Take it off, let her sew it separately. Don't make her sew it while you're still wearing it. It's not good. קשה לשכחה, מביא שכחה. One more thing, when you go to shul with the talit, men and reform women. When you go to shul with the talit, some people are lazy. When they come back home with the talit, they take it off. He gives it to his son. Moishi, fold it for me. Not good. Don't let, our mosquito came back. I was wondering where he went. He was on vacation for a month. He didn't show up. I was wondering 3 weeks in a row. Anyway, so you let someone else fold it for you, it hurts your memory. Fold it yourself. Not good to let other people fold your talit. קשה לשכחה. When you go to the cemetery, may we never have to go there. If you're already there, don't read the words from the graves. If the words written on the tombs on the cemetery, if you read it, it wipes out your memory little by little. This is When is it? When is it? First, it doesn't matter whether you read it loudly or whether you read it in your mind. There's no difference. Both of them make a damage. Okay? But we have to know that there is a difference when the leather coming out or when the leather are flat or sinking inside. There's a difference. When does it hurt the memory? When the leather comes out. When they make thick leathers, they're coming out from the flat piece of stone, then it hurts the memory. If it's flat or it's engraved inside, no problem. In general, better never to go to the cemetery. Never. It's always bad things over there. Especially the women. Not good for them. Wiping out your hands in clothes, not in a towel that is made for it. Towel. You have, sometimes you have the bathrobe, that you can wear, and it's hanging in a shower, and you don't have a towel, so you wipe your hands, your wet hands in this. It's not good. Use towels. Don't wipe your hands in clothes. You have a shirt, you don't have a towel, this shirt is not so clean anyway, let me just dry my hand and throw it in the laundry. Not good. It's bad. Now, let's talk about things that cause shichecha. Extra few things that we didn't mention yet. Eating brain, heart, and liver of animals. In America, I never met people that eat brains and hearts. Liver, yes. Ashkenazim, they're crazy about liver. Chopped liver, it's very important in the Shabbos, Shabbatonim that I go. But some Sfaradim also like liver. It's not that it's not kosher. Even the hearts, it's kosher, if it's come from a kosher animal. But it's making damage. Don't eat it. Don't eat it. Why? It causes you to forget what you have in your head. Skip the heart, skip the brain, and skip the liver. What about liver from a chicken? That little liver. Also, not good. Yeah, I didn't read lung. I told you which three. The heart, the brain, and the liver.
Is there antidote for it?
Huh?
Is there antidote? You can probably,
A lot of olive oil. That's the antidote. What else? Now, there are other things that cause a person to lose his memory. One, going under a camel. Camel is standing. You are in one side of the camel. You go to the other side, under the bridge. Going under a bridge that is above lake or above a river when there is no water there. The lake dried or the river dried, and you want to walk now to the other side under a bridge, also not good. Like I told you, don't look for logic here. Walking between two women standing, you want to walk between them. I'm not talking about modesty issues. They're very, very modest women. One can be 90 years old, one can be 100 years old. And they're modest. So you're not exactly went there because you wanted to, to make a scene. Just in a rush. One of them standing over here and the other one over there. You have to walk. What are you going to do? It's not good. Hold the book in your hand. Hold something in your hand on the side and then you can walk. You don't have, you ask one of them, hi, can you come here? As soon as she comes, you run around. You know the joke, one Moroccan guy, he wanted to go to America back in the 70s. So his uncle, another Moroccan guy, he said to him, Jojo, you go to America, you don't know one word in English. What are you going to do over there? He said, I manage. He said, if you go to a restaurant and you want to tell someone to come here, to come to you, how are you going to say? He knew. He said, I will tell him, come here. He said, what happened if you want him to go over there? He said, I will go over there and tell him, come here again. The Jewish mind. You understand? Now, things that make a person dumb. You want to be dumb? That's what you have to do. What do you have to do? Let's see. Eating worms. Eating worms. I'm not talking dumb in math or in computers. You can still be a very good lawyer or a doctor or a computer engineer. The Chinese, they eat worms non-stop. They're not dumb. They know that. They invent everything today is made in China. What do you want? They know very well what they do. We're not talking this kind of wisdom. We're talking spiritual. Spiritually. What does it mean spiritually? You can overcome the obstacles that Hashem made in a world to always know what's right spiritually, what's wrong spiritually. What's right, what's wrong. You understand? You can be a genius in computer, but you're the dumbest person when it comes to spirituality. For instance, you have $100 that you decided to do something good with that today. You have 100 CDs with 30 hours of Torah lecture on each one to give it to secular Jews and make them religious. Or you have a poor Jew, Mechalel Shabbat, eating pork, doing everything to make God angry, and you have now a dilemma to give it to the rabbi who would give out 100 CDs and save some souls, bring them back to Hashem and save their eternity for $100, or giving Itzik from Tel Aviv, right, who comes to the beach on Shabbat, like this with his belly outside, earring over ear, earring over ear, earring everywhere, tattoos everywhere, and he wants to buy on Shabbat from the kiosk over there, from the restaurant, something not kosher, cold cuts, all kinds of non-kosher. He puts some his own cheese on it, all kinds of other things that he eats. But he said, come on, help me out. I want to go to the beach and enjoy. I need money. A normal, smart person spiritually, would he give him a penny? He'll give all the money on a good cause. Somehow there will be a lot of religious people today that will give Itzik the money to help him to make more sins, to help him to break Shabbat even more, to help him to buy more non-kosher food with that money, to make Hashem even angrier. Why is it? Because he thought he's doing a mitzvah. Not because he's trying to get Hashem angry. What religious person wants to make Hashem angry? That's really, really realistic. But why can he not see the difference between a diamond and a cubic zirconia, or between a diamond and a piece of glass on the floor? Why can't he see the difference when it comes to good investment in Torah, or when it comes to learning or not learning Torah, or when it comes to Lashon Hara? He never knows what's right, what's wrong. Why is it? The answer, eating non-kosher food. Non-kosher meat, non-kosher chicken, lots of worms in the lettuce, in the broccoli, in the parsley, in the cilantro, tons of little flies. You cannot see them. Tons. In the lettuce, they're green also. You need a magnifying glass to see them. You cannot really see them. Try it. Go to a place, a vegetable place, buy some lettuce, take a white sheet, put it on the floor, put all the lettuce on it, and come back 6 hours later. And then you see how many little dots, green dots, little tiny ones you have on the sheet. You don't even see it in the letters. You go like this in the sun, you cannot see anything. You put your reading glasses, you cannot see anything. You only can see it when you take a big magnifying glass, you begin to see how they go, they crawl. And when the letters comes in one piece, the flies get caught inside. They fly, they go inside all the way deep. They die, they choke, and they fall all the way to the bottom. And they stick to it because, with the humidity and everything, it's very, very small, little black dots. And you take it, some people don't wash it, or they wash it not so good. And they wash it from outside, and and they begin to cut it for the salad, and it goes inside the salad, not to talk about all the other worms and all that, and makes the person dumb spiritually. Remember, spiritual stupidity, not regular stupidity. Again, in math, he can be a professor. His brain works like a machine. But when it comes to right and wrong spiritually, divine or against divine, will always make the wrong decision. Metamtem et halev. That's what it is. The word in Hebrew, metumtam, what's the difference between metumtam and tipesh? Tipesh means a person that is stupid in general, in everything. Metumtam can be a genius. When you tell a professor that in a university, metumtam shekamocha, how can you tell him metumtam? He's very smart math teacher. Cannot be dumb. He knows so much math, his brain, he's thinking. Or a great chess player, champion, he can be dumb. How can someone like this be dumb? He has focus and concentration, and he plans 10 steps, 20 steps ahead. Somebody like this cannot be dumb. Yes, he cannot be dumb physically. But spiritually, he can be the dumbest person on earth. And you see it all the time. Look at some of the politicians in Israel. Great speakers, charisma, thinking correctly, speaking correctly on CNN. The dumbest people on earth when it comes to spirituality. His son's going to marry Christine, he's going to smile to everyone under the chuppah. Like the Prime Minister of Israel, when his son goes from one Goya to another, and he stands with him and her and smile. How are you? You're about to cut your genealogy after 3,300 years. Your grandparents are going to kill themselves when they see that the entire genealogy is going to be cut permanently. Let's drink champagne. Christine, come here. Come join us in a picture. Yesterday I had the strangest thing ever. Every Tuesday I'm in Brooklyn until very late over there. The lecture starts about 8:45. Usually I finish 11:15. Then I have about 30, 40 people waiting to talk to me, one after the other, like in the doctor's office. Next, everyone with his problems, Baruch Hashem. Usually we finish around 1 o'clock, sometimes 1:30, sometimes even 1:50. When we finish, I have me and my Russian friend that you hear him all the time in the lectures. He became officially my assistant. Now, everywhere I go with him right away, people say, oh, finally I get to see the face behind the voice. I told him you became famous all over the world. Your voice is so famous. So, after the lecture, he takes me to a restaurant, kosher restaurant. They open until 2 a.m. For us, sometimes they even stay a little bit longer. We go because we're starving now. I left the house around 6 in Monsey. It's already 1, 2 o'clock at night. So we're going quickly to eat something. And this restaurant, believe it or not, getting full, packed, around 1 a.m. 1 a.m. people remember to come to eat dinner. Top. One only restaurant, I think, in whole Brooklyn. So yesterday when we went there, as soon as I walked in, I see a big religious man, big, tall, wide, black yarmulke, little beard, and 2 girls with him. The girls maybe 19, 20 years old, that's it. One of them, look Ashkenazi, a little bit blonde, not religious. And another one, purple hair, purple, real purple, like you have to take purple spray. All kinds of swords and needles. Maybe 100 earrings in her face. I don't think that you had the face. I couldn't look at her. Like tons of earrings here, ears, on the nose, in the eyes, everywhere, in the mouth, in the tongue. She opened an earring store. I walked in right away. I almost fainted. I sat down with my Russian friend. Then I see who comes towards me, the purple lady. Knowing me and knowing this kind of people, what kind of connection we may have? Nothing whatsoever. For what? Rabbi, can we have a picture with you? I said to Hashem, what sin did I do today that you give me with this punishment? To stand in front of a full restaurant, smile to the camera, with the purple lady. What? And then he said to me, even this kind of people like you? I said, let's hope she's not a reporter in a newspaper. Tomorrow you will find out. Unbelievable, you know. Sometimes you wonder how the lectures go to the people you will never ever believe they would press play. Who knows? Maybe a month from now she'll be in Bet Yaakov. Who knows? Things like this happen in the past. People you never believe. If you remember, a few weeks ago, it was in Brooklyn, one Israeli guy showed up to talk to me after the lecture. That Tuesday night. Showed up. And he came completely secular. Completely. I spoke to him 20 minutes and I gave him the CDs, and yesterday I got an email that he became fully Baal Tshuva. CDs made him religious. Now he's going back to Israel, to yeshiva. 15 minutes conversation, one-on-one. Another soul got saved. Miracle or not? Miracle. That's the miracle. One more thing, and our time ran out, so we have to finish. I have another lecture tonight. When you have a blood transplant, not transplant, when a person needs blood, what do you call it? Transfusion. Blood, don't take blood from any Jew that is Mechalel Shabbat, and definitely not from a Goy. Only blood from Shomer Shabbat, if possible. If this life race, there's no time. Some people, they have a membership in a bank, blood bank of Shomrei Shabbat. Only Shomrei Shabbat people donate blood. In Israel it's possible because you have Magen David Adom, it's like Hatzala. When a person needs blood, immediately they call and they deliver blood from people that are Shomer Shabbat. So, if you take from someone who's not Shomer Shabbat, metamtem et halev. מטמטם את הלב, השם ירחם.
Where can you go to donate to those places?
Find out if Hatzala has something like this in America. I really don't know. Time ran out. I still have few interesting things here. Maybe we'll have another time. We have to finish. Any questions so far about what we spoke? You're afraid to be here another 15 minutes? Don't worry, I have to run. Yeah.
The talents. Some people
Don't fold it all on Shabbos?
on Shabbos, they don't fold on the things. Or do they?
Yeah. So they can fold Motzei Shabbat. What's the question?
I mean, you don't, normally you wouldn't fold it on the lines.
On the lines.
Well, you know,
The reason some people do not like to fold the talit on the lines because it's like tolada of laundry. When it is something that you do, once you do laundry, this is usually how you continue the process. But according to Rav Ovadia Yosef, no problem, you can fold it. No problem. If you don't want to fold it, you put it on the side, you fold it Saturday night, it's not the end of the world. No problem. Some Ashkenazim are more strict about folding things on Shabbat, especially the way they usually fold it. If you fold it differently, no problem. With the Sfaradim, don't have a problem. You can fold it, no problem. The talit. Put it where it belongs, in your shul, in your box, whatever, that's it. So again, I want to conclude this lecture by saying, don't forget that in the next 3 weeks, I won't be here. I will come back, bli neder bezrat Hashem, God willing, on September 7th, 3 Wednesdays from now. If you want to still listen to my lectures, please go on events on my website, click on events, it shows you where I am every night. Some places in Brooklyn, Staten Island, New Jersey, Deal, New Jersey, Lakewood sometimes, Long Island, Woodmere, all kinds of Great Neck. There's some lectures coming up. So, sometimes in Queens also. Like Sunday I spoke here in Queens in a house. It was also very good lectures. For about 2 hours we spoke about interesting topics. Bezrat Hashem. Thank you very much. We'll see you then. Baruch Adonai Leolam. Amen ve'amen.